Well, what's going on, guys? Second stream today. I went earlier. It was only 14 minutes long. Anyway, hello, you guys.
You see that beam from the sky? That's not a visual error at all. When you're watching things on broadcast right now, we have this thing whenever we're inside this big overarching drone shot. You can see exactly who's in first place. You can even see at the bottom left right now. This new addition of this season. The team and the number beside them is actually their live leaderboard spot in game for the moment. So after that first one, it's Benji and Savage. That's team number 1 in first place. We go to the other side of the board. That's Magnet all the way down to the South Pole. In 31st, it's Analex
and his teammate.
Yep, 8 below here, and this is actually a decent zone for Analex and X3, surprisingly enough, but you know, they are going to get pushed here, so that's a blessing in disguise for them. You know, you always love it when you're below Surge and the team pushes you because, you know, you're on the back foot, but they have to run into you, so you know you're going to get guaranteed tags. Benji Savage, meantime, 174 above Surge, managed to get in, and you did see that he utilized that shield keg, you know, to trade Surge, because you're going to get a lot of Surge shield back from that shield keg, so you're able to trade a lot of Surge, take 50-50s, and that's a free shield and Surge spot there coming out there.
Absolutely. It's all about that balance. You might be even asking back home, kind of looks different from the game. Everyone plays themselves. Why aren't people pushing boxes all the time, 24/7, just going for the fights? You don't want to risk getting damaged yourself. Savage and Benji go for a quick drop down right there, but don't find that much success. They're going to stop a little bit because they need to make sure they temper their resources for the rest of the game. They also have a long ways to go. I count about 10 different teams in front of them, and this is a very good personification for what it looks like for everyone. The house is burning. Everyone's about to basically catch on fire. They need to move very soon. This is not a comfortable place to be in at all. Benji is in a world of hurt.
The roof is on fire. I mean, and unfortunately, you know, it does go back out. You know, I thought we're going to see some spicy things there. You know, it is sort of, you know, it's a little bit scary sometimes when they have fire all around your base because it makes your edits also a little bit weird. Sometimes you can't edit that wall, so you got to be a little bit careful. But if you take a look at the zone here, bottom around the map, you see zone push far yet again. So all of those north teams, you know, the teams that did well last game, Benji and Savage, and they tilted. Not a bad zone for them, but they're going to be one of the last teams to rotate too, and they don't have a car, they don't have any sort of rotates, and they have a team right next to them that's going to be holding them out for Surge as well, as Jeff is having a little dive in zone here. Not sure what they're doing here, Shayo.
Might be a class down onto Analex and Squeeze. They might be down on Surge and looking for a few angles. They seem kind of desperate. Seems like another, you know, predator hunting its prey situation, but Analex has basically an invisible radar on. He knows exactly what people are thinking. That's just the way he kind of plays the game. The fundamentals always just so strong in knowing what's around him, the awareness. So they find a quick pickup. They're going to keep moving.
Yep, but you know, then again, the zone is tough for them. I mentioned this, the mountains, the hills. There's going to be so many teams on this edge, and Analex is the forced to launch pad, but everyone's eyes is on them because I think that shield crack came out here. Analex is going to get sprayed up by everyone, and he's eliminated out of the air. X-Cuse being a very good teammate here, trying to pick him back up, but honestly, I don't think this is a move. I think you need to run away with the Spider-Man because people are going to be jumping in, and that's exactly what's going to happen. The Stinger SMGs coming in, they're jumping, they're going through, and X-Cuse misses the low launch as well. He's panicking just a little bit, he gets pumped yet again, and his Spider-Man is going to reset. He's able to get past this side now, away from line of sight, but again, this team is being a bit of a nuisance here, Shayo.
He's got a few things to kind of delay a little bit of time, but they got web shooters of their own. Everyone here can beat Peter Parker today. This is going to be absolutely unfortunate for X-Squeeze. A big shot landed down, but it's not going to be enough when you have shotguns and SMGs and everything spraying at you. They leave a launch pad behind for many teams on that south side. Up towards the north, though, Savage and Benji still at a stalemate. They're not all the way in. About 10 more meters away is paradise for them, Boot, but for this oasis inside the desert, Savage and Benji are just in trouble and barely even in.
Yep. I mean, this is a tough spot to be in. I mean, if you're always on the back foot, you're never going to find opportunities to get Surge.
Yeah, I'm taking the heavy.
You're going to have this tough spot, and I mean, never mind. They're just going to find the player, just giving it to the box, and maybe that's a bit of that luck you mentioned before, Shayo. All of a sudden, there's just a player in Benji's box, a quick little pump to the face, and that's a quick elimination there from Benji.
I'm telling you, they're following some sort of script every time there's a tough situation. Easy random siphon available for Benji and Savage. And I kind of also want to see what some of the other teams' positions are looking like right now as well. I mean, if you look at it, there's just a crescent moon of duos waiting around. Irazumi on the right side, Rayad there too. Let's look at second place and how their journey was going as well. They're on the same side as Benji and Savage. They left slightly later. This is that burned down house, and they get eliminated. So you're talking about what Benji and Savage need to do, Boo. They have so much more space now. The second place team behind them down. You can see the light, the beam shining on them from above. It's just showing them that, hey, you've got the spotlight. You're in first. How far can you go this game?
Yeah, and consistency is the name of the game. I mean, any sort of duo, they can just come back with a very, very, very high elimination game, right? We saw Floki do this last week, you know, a 13 elimination game, I believe, put him back into the top 8 position just off of one game. So even if you are below that top 20, top 30 place, just one good game here could put you back up. So you definitely don't want to be throwing the chances where you have very good situations here. And Benji and Savage, they do get saved just a little bit here, Shayo.
Yes, they do. But on their left side, looking at them right now, Joe Vino,
I do
Irezunian
not.
leader as well. Two different duels that act as interrupters for a majority of teams in the season as they try to move. They try to pick you apart when you're on the move. So Savage and Benji have to be very careful. They don't have the web shooters. They don't have any aerial movement. But Savage's got the slides. He's got the moves. That was nice. 3 boxes. And the time it takes to make one. And now Benji takes the lead. Look at the dynamic switching you have in between. A Savage needs to heal. Benji picks up the building portion of the duo.
And I love that. I love seeing these new mechanics coming out of these players, you know. Always a ton of creativity coming out of there. And that sliding is just going to give you that extra inch to box up and be... People are going to have a tough time shooting at you. But look at that. Somehow they know that it's Malabuk and Mustache. And Malabuk and Mustache trades back too. You know, these were their rivals back in the last season as Steamy Stacks. And somehow they sniffed them out. Maybe giving a little bit of revenge back on them. But, you know, they get a little bit back as well as Malabuk and Mustache get a big trade. But Texia in the meantime and Castry. Double controller duo. 145 below Surge. And I'm not surprised. Maybe they should have gone to those gyro controls because this is not enough Surge tags.
Yeah, they might want to get a little bit of that aim factor in. We're looking at them right beside another box, but it's going to be a brick build. PKR knows exactly what's going down. They back all the way up. They have so much room. Big for Texia in, and he gets slapped in the face. Castery denied immediately, too. That's 2 shots, 2 elims, and 2 big messages sent to that duo.
I love that. You know, they're perfect timing shots. They knew when the wall was about to be broken. Boom, the pump to the face, and they just get eliminated. You know, that's also a little bit on them as well. You got to be a little bit careful on the timing. You do not want to leave it to the last minute when Surge is just about to pump. You got to be, you know, you got to set yourself up. You cannot do it right before. As Benji here, he sniffs out an opportunity, finds another good pump through, and look who has gotten 50-50 here, Shayo.
Yes, Benji and Savage, they have that 5th zone. It's landed right exactly where they are, and they found another body of heals to be used as well. They keep overreaching for a little bit of damage, for a little bit of position, and keep getting blessed with rewards in terms of heals as well. But the majority of the zone is not in right now. I see a few launch pads and Spider-Man swings going on from the right side, where you can see just the left half of the word Chonker on the minimap. A lot of people are going to be swinging and flying in. Vino, of course, is in one of the best spots of the map. He's looking to keep pushing that position forward. That's exactly what you want to be doing in this situation. 2 launch pads as well. You talk about potential right now for Vino and Joe. They're both alive. Boop. It looks better than game 1, and I feel like they're about to pop off in this one.
I mean, this is just Cobra Canyon, dude, right? 2 launch pads, those 6 chili splashes. They have 3 big pots, 6 minis as well. It is a lot. And, you know, they already have 3 eliminations as well. So what happened last game of the Surge issues and obviously Veno going down early on is now going to be a little bit saved. And looks like if Veno's trying to take a peek at high gun here, and not a single team has height. And I don't think it's the right play to go for yet because they do have those 2 launch pads. You don't want to be using those materials to go up and waste them because you're going to be launch padding anyways. It's not going to give you too much. Those those splashes, sorry, are going to be good enough to play mid gun and then launch pad afterwards. And zone pulls bottom right towards Shonka's side. So luckily for the majority of this lobby, it pulls back towards that congested side. So a lot of these guys are going to have a pretty easy access through. And knowing Veno and Joe, you know, he was looking at high gun. I expect him to fully land at high gun on the front side of zone. And actually, if you take a look, you'll be seeing this in this first moving here. Everyone on that north side, they're going to be launching first. They're going to be landing. Veno and Joe, they're going to be the last team to land. And that's when they're going to have the opportunity because they're able to extend that launch pad as far as possible. And then they save themselves so many materials because everyone's already on the floor, right? Everyone's already landed. So you have 0 risk of ever getting a late landing on because you're the last team to launch pad, Shayo.
Absolutely. It's also a barren desert, a wasteland. There's not going to be too many mountains or anything around the city of Chonker Speedway to land upon. Everything here is going to be player built. So you're absolutely correct. Leaving as late as possible will give you one of the highest points of elevation you can latch upon. Sunny Chappiks have to leave a little bit earlier because they were towards that backside. Base up, go for a few shots. They have another launch pad to leave this position as well, but they're just trying to farm as much damage as possible. Now you hear the gliders in the sky. They're popping left and right. 200 damage above for Seti and Chappiks. They're looking for a little bit of freedom towards the clouds. They find it. You can see the overview right now. Lots of mid-ground positions. One definitive team on height. Seti's looking for a little bit of a higher elevated base as well. As you look towards the other side on low ground, it's Savage and Benji. They're going to be towards the backside of the zone now, still finding trouble getting in, but the spicy splash dropped down towards the feet, making things hot. Feisty, fast, and speedy, good for both teammates, but they're slightly separated too. It's Kuriachi that Benji takes down as he moves across the cars and the dirt on the ground. They're looking pretty good so far, Boot, but they have a long ways to go.
I mean, he had almost 0 builds then. All of a sudden, Kuriachi just into the box, back up to 80 as we get this nice little planning shot. Benji's still stuck in the backside of zone. Yet again, a result of a little bit of late rotations as he has to progress through all of these old builds. He's going to be very careful. Savage going to try to elevate themselves away from this spot as we have a high gun battle here. Pink and Anas trying to go up on top of there. And these guys, you know, they don't have the most aggressive playstyle, but when it comes to those late moving zones and zone transitions, they love to go on top of it. And they do have Spider-Mans. They do have the momentum to go back up, and they have it for free now, going to 8th moving zone pretty damn soon. And that like an easy spot for them.
Absolutely. Pink actually uses the web shooters to go forward to get the fall damage and then build all the way back up, reconnecting the high ground, stopping the weakness of these builds. It's absolutely genius. Past that, Chula go looking for a little bit of revenge on any aggressivity happening towards
ESC button.
the top side of this map. They're going to be looking to maybe take over height. Vino and Joe all the way down low. Don't have any launch pads left anymore. Savage actually going down in the feed, but trading Rotary, so I'm not sure where first place is, if they're still alive, but they're having a little bit of trouble in Paradise. Joe and Vino, though, they're denying everyone on the slow ground towards the forward side. They're going, just landing shots left and right. Floki, Hook on boxes right beside each other on the backside as well. A little bit of calm for every single team as the zone moves again, but Floki denied on low. It's tough to heal. Hookah wins that one. And then Pink up top with an Us are still looking good to reign on high ground.
Yeah, now it is time for the big impact facts for Veno and Joe. 4 eliminations already. With the zone pullback, though, it's going to be a little bit tough because you see them on this logo, but you're going to get smothered just a little bit. They do find the toes of some players. They find another one.
This is crazy.
There's good tags coming through. They do have those flashes.
Yeah,
They'll time zone just a little bit, and he does go for it. But
time.
unfortunately, I think that's only going to be Cypher materials. Yes, it is, because those players will completely scuff them backside of zone. They do have those flashes to go back up, though. And, you know, they're making use of the inventory very well here, Shayo, and they still have 10 more seconds in the zone transitions.
They needed the mats. It might just be a little bit, but it gets them a little bit of more space to survive. And Vino shoots another shot again, lands a big one. Not going to get the elimination. Mappy on the backside now. He's also out of mats. They're going towards almost uneditable builds. They have to break it through. Double swinging with a pickaxe is going to be looking good. A little bit of ammo picked up from the backside. Mappy going down. PKR also denied. Pink is still raining absolutely bullet after bullet from the high ground. And Nas is holding on to it still. They haven't been challenged. And now we're down to 5 teams. Pink and Nas, absolute control of the lobby right now. No one can even breathe, but the map gives people the chance to fight each other on low. It's going to be that Speedway warehouse that everyone has a chance to just kind of wrap around, and armored walls pulled up by Vino and Joe to give them a little bit of a situation on the right side. They have a path. They're moving in. Bedmiss popped. This is so constrictive. They have no space to move, and it's an entire diner they're going to be rocking with on the right side. A person right in front of them. It's Vino that gets popped inside his own hometown. Vino now looking for the siphon. Does he get it? Yes, another player on his front side. He denies it too. Somehow Vino and Joe are alive. The final 2v2. Can they make this happen? It's amongst tyrants all the way on high ground who've had no interruption so far. A big shot from Vino and the spray. 30 HP. And he's still finding a way to have a conversation, a voice inside this battle, but the spray comes down. There's no builds to hide behind. You can have the best aim in the world, but it's not going to stop Pink and Anas from getting that win.
That was a valiant effort done, Logan, by Veno and Joe. You know, there was chaos down there. 4 players just running around with no materials with their heads cut off. And Veno and Joe, they come out on top. Very well played game there from Dan. And Pink and Anas, you know, very good fundamentals. Again, taking height on that zone transition. A bit of a lucky zone pullback there for them, considering the material. Can you see them finish this game on 0 materials? And that's a good victory royale there for Pink and Anas. And, you know, these guys are warriors in these finals lobbies. I love it.
Absolutely. It feels like, though, even for me, after watching that game, me and you might have to go outside. I can barely breathe. I thought I was getting sprayed by Pink and Anas from high ground. Zeke, Levin, and Reese, are you feeling the heat? That was insane.
Well, shy wager for some of us who can't handle the heat. We got to get out of the kitchen, but nope, I'm here. I'm still hanging out. I am dying, but it is okay. I will hold on until my very last breath. My goodness. Guys, this felt... Reese 11, but overall, I'm very pleased to see, like, the seriousness from Qualifier 1 to Qualifier 2. You can tell duos here are like, no, I want that top 8. I don't want to go to semifinals. I just want that seat on the bus.
Yeah, I love the way you went, you know, there were some flubs recently, living like where the flubs, by the way. Like, you know, watch your tone, mate. Watch your tone. Look, I'll be real. This is why we talked in the first game about how let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Those are 2 teams in the final zone where they didn't have the best first games by any means, but they are 2 teams where the expectations for them were high. One of the best final lobby teams in the region. The way they play high, very, very good. They have a great understanding. Execution can be off at times, don't get me wrong, but they got the right things done in that game, and hopefully now moving forward, they probably won't have that many teams contesting them up on high.
Fingers crossed, let's be real. But you never know. You got guys like Queasy who aren't here, who's just height. Yeah. That's it. That's why when I think of Queasy, I think of height. Yeah, that's it. But for Finken and Nas, like, they are game winners, like you mentioned. Out of the 3 cash cups they made the second round of, they won 2 games in each of them. So these guys are capable of winning matches. I'm slightly a bit more concerned about the games that they don't manage to, right? 3 good games is roughly what I saw from Qualifier 1 to get you into that kind of top 8. Obviously, with a couple other points, another one. That with 7 eliminations is absolutely fantastic.
We're Benji up top.
I'm still seeing these duels,
With
man.
Mr.
They're struggling with
Savage
Storm
in
Surge.
second,
I mean, you
we
look back
have
to like Benji and Mr. Savage, right? Who get gifted the Storm Surge, the duel just falling into their laps and just being eliminated. Loot transfer complete, but as we take a look at our overall standings, they're still holding down the number 1 spot. Now, there was a little bit more of a gap coming into this game, but for right now, we're seeing these other duos, right? They're meeting them, right? They're looking to answer back and say, look, that's fine if you want a spot, but you better be aware, we're going to join you up there.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things where I think we all know that their early game fundamentals are there. End game, yeah, they got stuff to work on, but mid game as well can be a bit dodgy. The reverse caster curse from Boot coming through on that one was pretty funny as well. I think the big thing for them now is probably hoping they can get a bit of zone. Like, let's not deny, right? Of course, teams will prepare, teams will have great fundamentals, this and that. But sometimes you need a bit of zone luck to go your way, and so they probably won't want many more south zones if we're just being real. But if they do, hopefully they can use that first game as sort of a learning moment on how to handle it.
Yeah, I think one of the things you mentioned was interesting. Benji Fishy managed to get caster curse RNG. I mean, like, how has that happened? Positive caster curse RNG, that's fantastic. Well, and a good team, obviously, we hadn't really picked on too much with Vino and Joe there. The absolute pop-off at the end, taking them up to second place in that match. We didn't see them in the top 10 there in the leaderboards. They're roughly in that kind of 11th to 20th place right now, and that's just because of that bad first game. If they can keep...
Told me I tried, even though I know I never could. Told you I tried, told you I tried.
What do we do this guys? I'm gonna just 10. We're just gonna do it randomly as well. 10. So, and then, no, one ball into okay. Can be good. I didn't even know that I was playing. Okay. What is it called? You know what it's called?
No.
Like the thing where you like a backpack, a gun, ammo. Oh, I might just switch it. Oh, good, that's cool. Ew, I don't want this. This isn't my problem.
Okay, so this isn't like headshot. Okay.
Right, it's fine, I sorted it back. Let's just do pumps.
No, I wanna do.
Tax?
Where's the swapper?
No, you just use it.
Hang on.
You got leather. Ah, big damage.
Bro, oh, I had that.
Wow.
Why does editing in this feel so clean?
You can't build? I don't think you can. I couldn't build that.
Yeah, you can't build.
Oh, you can't race. It's literally just edit and see.
Well, it ain't called edit properly. Wait, how did you get a boogie one?
I got it from my elimination streak.
You didn't have an LM.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't get rid of it when I died. I'm dead.
Are you there?
If I could build, I wouldn't. Once I edit point with it, that's crazy.
Ah, I couldn't shoot. I had to reload. The next game will probably start soon.
Play. Let's just play it now, because I really want that. At least it's creative.
What are we doing?
Rules.
Well, I thought we were watching FNCS.
We will in a minute, but it's not going to be video.
I'll tell you what, I'll watch the live stream on my phone so then I can see when a game happens.
Yeah,
Presents. You can even break.
Nearby. A lot of the time you split it up.
It's starting.
now?
Yeah.
Why so early?
Well, we gotta go.
Okay.
Why you is lying? Why the fuck you lying? I am not lying. Yo, why the fuck you lying? No, but Pally and Spencer, she loved calamari. Told her don't take me some sorry, man. Paladin Spencer, she loved calamari. I got Rex on me. My ex can she ever left now, I got sticks on me. Back when I used to cross my eyes and now I don't my teeth. I'm moving up a league. That's how you made my mama cry because she's proud of me. Talk to Bethany and Angela. Introduced to my accent.
Game 3, the game of opportunity. It looks like Kiko and Mashi so far haven't had theirs rein in so far. I mean, these guys are good fighters. Kiko's one of the most insane players when it comes to
Baby,
box to
so
box,
sorry,
pound for pound
so
weight,
sorry all the time. She called me,
close range box fights and
on
whatnot. What do they need to do to get back inside this competition?
I mean, they're doing what they need to do, right? They're gonna try to play aggressively, trying to get those early eliminations on spawn now. You know, they have teams that are nearby. I believe they were contested last game, but this game, is this the same team? It's very hard to tell, actually. It seems like it is, yeah, it is the same team from Jones's before, so this is not actually a push. This is them chasing them out of the spot. This is about alphaing Joneses here, Shayo. They do not want this team landing next to them yet again.
Absolutely not, but that fight is going on for a little bit, so we'll tune in with it in just a second. Sunny and Chapix, I mean, we talk about Storm Surge this, you know, going for damage that. It's still kind of early on inside the game. You'll see people still fighting for their spot right now. It's pretty basic Fortnite so far till teams start to disengage. Even at Sleepy Sound, usually there's a fast disengagement there. That's gonna take a while to come through. And yeah, the Joneses, I mean, it's lasting so long and it's so loud that I see a third team on the minimap now kind of attracted towards this fight. And if you introduce a third party to this one, it's gonna be absolutely chaotic.
Yeah, and it's sort of how you decide to play, right? There's two main parts of Joneses you can land on. You can land either on the north side or the south side. A lot of the time, they have one team that lands on the north side. They play a bit passive. They try to sneak up through the tree lines. But it seems like this time, you know, both these teams landing on different sides of Joneses. One of them trying to disengage with those Spider-Man gauntlets. And that's what happens. And yeah, another team now comes through yet again. And this is the tale we've seen of this whole final, basically. You know, a little bit too much over-aggression. You know, you can play a little bit emotional. That's fine. But you got to think about your own gameplay and your own finals in the end. You know, you do not want to be throwing your finals just playing a little bit too emotional, trying to chase the team out of it because you want to alpha them. But at this point, I think it's already too little too late. They're going to have to commit to this fight because the material count and the shield count here is not looking too hot.
Not at all. I'm watching some funniness from Mashi. He's just rolling in and just slowly crouch walking, going for an SMG spray. And just absolutely moving through boxes. And yeah, now he's even disrespecting the opposition. I like it. I like the emotion that comes in right now. And at Joneses, you'll see that third-party team completely disengaged. I think they also, maybe they were watching and seeing exactly how this fight was breaking down. It was a little bit too, you know, Jenga tower falling over gif for them. They just kind of left as fast as possible. I don't blame them at all.
Yep, and SC here back through the spawn fights near that orchard spot. Joe, I mean, he got eliminated by Anas and Pink. You know, that third party coming in, unfortunately for him. And that's their momentum gone in game number 3. Anas and Pink, I would love to see that loot at some point because right now you think they got the vault, but so far they still have it. Pena managing to run out just a little bit and also gets caught there with Anas and Pink in the box, and that's not what you want to have there from them as we go back towards Chonker's side, I believe. And there's a lot of aggression going on here. Both teams still trying to fight it out, but Alex and X-Squeeze here trying to, you know, loot up their materials. You know, they do land nearby. Looks like they need to up their metal count here.
Absolutely. I mean, by the time the second zone's coming in at this point, every time I look at the mini-map for a lot of teams, I would not see a big name on it at all. People are usually outside when the name POI is fighting in some weird mid-game skerfuffles, right? But that's not happening right now. It seems that people are not getting out of their off-spawn fights fast enough.
Yeah, and you take a look at the player count as well. 74 people left alive. You know, this is sort of, like I mentioned, this is it's a time to do things, right? So you have to make a difference. So people are trying out different things. They're trying to third-party different spots. They're trying to get more eliminations early on because, you know, it must be very frustrating to be eliminated by Storm Surge every single game. So these guys, you know, they're making the decision, hey, we're just going to jump in and we're going to get a quick elimination on spawn so we don't have to worry about it later on. But this is yet again another South Zone. And looking at Pink and Anis's loadout there, you know, again, very, very good. But another storm fight coming through here with Stompy and Jew.
Okay, guys, we're just going to go for a minute. We're going to get some tea. I'll be back later. Goodbye.
It'll be tough for Stompy and company because, you know, we just keep seeing this pattern. A lot of the times, it's an extreme as to where the zone is pulling. They're going straight all the way down south. Matt's resources going to be expended towards absolutely thin right now. Even Pig inside the storm, he's having a little bit of trouble getting all the way in. I like the fact that you pointed out aggression is going to be so much more so different inside game 3. Limited player count overall. People kind of, you know, they might not even expect certain spots to be taken, or, you know, the regular thing you might be expecting to happen inside the game might not be there. It's going to be a very different landscape for a lot of teams.
Yeah, and this is probably the worst zone for Stumpy and Jew there to sort of storm fight in this position, right? Because it is so far away from them, and there's not too many points for you to reform your metal. So you need to be careful here. And looking at the map there, bottom right, you look at how many teams there are on that rotation. So much congestion right into Chonkers. All of these guys trying to reform the metal. And if you're late on this rotation, it's going to be tough. I don't think this zone's going to pull all the way towards the water side because it doesn't tend to do that. But you never know. So it could be lucky. And there you go. Storm Surge is going to pop up for the first time. 4 players need to be eliminated until that is gone. But 415 above Surge here for Iris, Yumi, and Older, our 3rd place team. So they're in a pretty good spot so far.
Chat, should we do something else?
We talk about, you know, where the zone can't go.
Should I, like,
whenever it's on broadcast, it goes straight to the water, man. I'm telling you, it has like an affinity for it. I don't know why, but it happens. And it seems that wherever Benji and Savage go, flames follow. Another house that's being completely set apart on fire.
I think it's the same one, Shayo. I think this is Butterbun. For some reason, they have a vengeance against this Butterbun. But yet again, you know, take a look at the Storm Surge. I mean, this is almost the exact same zone, right? So again, Benji and Savage not really learning from the mistakes of last game. 37 below Surge here, and there's not going to be a team to jump into the box this time to help them out. As Benji and Savage here trying to trade some Surge, they do have a lot of minis. And for those of you that don't know, there is a pretty good strategy that a lot of these duos do. They basically, actually, never mind, because Savage is going to pop his big pot. Not really sure why he's doing that. Oh. Okay, there we go. So what a lot of teams tend to do is they try to stay on 150 HP and they try to use those minis over those big pots, right? Because big pots, they're not expendable. You only have 2 or 3 of them in total. Minis, you have 6 in total in your inventory, right? So you have a lot of your HP. You're basically trading your HP for Surge in this situation. But Savage not doing that. I guess he feels a little bit scared maybe for another team trying to push them. And I feel like this is deja vu. This game is, you know, the same zone. Benji and Savage below Surge yet again. Vortexia and Cassia also below Surge. What am I saying here, Shayo?
I mean, if that is the case, then Vortexia and Castry have about 2 minutes to live until they get popped twice in the face. So hopefully it's not the same game for them so far. Benji and Savage, though, getting bullied, and we really didn't see this POV that much in the last game. We saw them rotating in and not having the worst of times. But it feels like Vortexia and Castry, they've learned from their past mistakes, have one of the best spots right now to bully an isolated team, and unfortunately it is Benji and Savage on the other side. 11 points for them, 89 for Benji. Savage are in first place and want to keep it going.
Yep, and this is again that little bit of psychology, right? 74 people left alive. Even if you're, you know, only 50 above Surge, you know, you're gonna think surely it's not gonna be us that's gonna be taken out here. And you never know, if one team gets taken out here, Benji and Savage, they could go below Surge. If the other team that's below Surge, you know, the way that it works, it's all about thresholds, right? So you gotta be careful because one team that gets one extra tag, it could be you being below next. And with Benji only being on 95 effective HP, this is such a scary position to be here.
Absolutely, it's that domino effect completely, right? For all the teams. One team gets further up, everyone else comes toppling down. So you want to make sure you're upkeeping with that flip. And right now, Yaizen, I mean, he's in trouble.
I mean, look at this. I mean, okay, I gotta be careful here because I'm new to this casting thing, Shao, so I didn't realize I had such an effect on how zones pull.
I'm telling you,
and
man.
This zone has pulled straight towards the water of Chonka's side. So, worst case scenario for a lot of these teams. This is, I mean, it's gonna be a painful zone for these players, but it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, I'll be honest.
Absolutely is. Unfortunately, too, this is one thing I've noticed over casting a little bit and watching these zones move. When you're down on Surge and the zone kind of moves even more so where all teams are, it becomes a statue situation. You're not able to watch anyone else kind of move out of their boxes. You're in so much more trouble than any other situation if you're bad on Surge. You just saw it with Kaizen right there. There's nowhere to go. One team ends up hearing your shield get cracked, roll in, pops out. You do not want to be low on Surge when it's kind of a statue type zone. You want, when things kind of get, you know, constricted, you see it coming, to be proactive, get on your fight fast. I think we saw it from the first game. I forget the duo that did it, but it was done to one of the teams that were a little bit higher on elevation. They just straight up pushed in. It might have been Pan that we saw get right inside the box, I believe, beam up. Yeah. You want to be able to be proactive and not wait for that zone to close. Right now, it's all in for a lot of teams. Jox, Skyzoo, have to push inside, wait for this fight because they need the damage. They're in that statue situation. No other team is going to allow them to deal damage to them at all. They're just going to be hiding, turtled up inside their boxes. And now it's going to be unfortunate completely. Another situation where Surge is the demise of Jox and Skyzoo.
And I think these guys got their GPS settings installed incorrectly because they are on the wrong side of Storm here. There's so many players on this northern side. And even Benji and Savage a little bit late to this rotate. Look how many players there are on this edge. This can be a tough one. They're going to have to use a lot of material count. But, you know, Savage with that 200 IQ, going to be very smart going along this ridge line, you know, cutting off line of sight, being unpredictable. Maybe he had a little bit of mind games there too. He showed himself to the left, went right to the right side. And he's a bit of a magician act here from Savage. You know, trying to confuse an opponent. Unfortunately, though, gonna get sprayed from below here. Needs to be a little bit careful. And now is the time for them to just be careful, just to wait. It is mellow time. You do not want to be editing when there's so many players around you. You want to wait for these metal walls to fully build out before you make any sort of moves. And I don't want to call the zone, but it is gonna actually pull to the right side. So away from the water, thankfully for them. And we are gonna be saved here from another water zone here, Shaya.
Question is, are there any pads for Savage and Benji to maybe bounce on and have an easier way inside zone? I see that Anas has one inside his inventory. If that's the case, and once again, we're in the desert, we saw who the Pharaohs were last game, right? Anas and Pink, they stayed up top. They let that family lineage kind of rock from zone to zone to zone to zone. No one could really dethrone them. And they're looking to do it again. An armored wall available for Anas as well. So if anyone tries to go for that chop down, that spray all the way upwards, he has that extra layer of protection and another beam inside the box. So not only looking for height right now, Boop, they're aware of every single edit going on around them.
Yeah, so what they're basically doing in this position is trying to hold as many people away from them on this high ground, right? Because if you shoot at players that are trying to rotate near you, they're not going to box it below. They're going to try to rotate away from you in this position. So what that's basically going to do, it's going to set you up to have less of a chance of someone sneaking up towards high ground if you do pull half and half here. And I want to talk about the inventory just a little bit. They had 12 Chug's Passion. I believe they have 6 more in the inventory of Anas there. So what what these guys love to do sometimes, they like to, sneak up below high ground and try to take it away that time. So maybe if I get a few fortunate zone pulls, you might see them make a storm play with those Chug Splashes because they're very variable. They can heal you up when you're in trouble, but they also are there for those big IQ plays on high ground.
Absolutely. Right now, you might have to toss IQ straight into the bin. Savage and Benji have to just use their feet. Stop thinking, start moving. Spice is also in effect, so they move at double the speed. Question is, though, if you do end up going the wrong way, that's double the mistake that happens as well. You're talking about the right, left, the elasticity, the bounce back of this team. They're really making the move, showing themselves off to the right, sticking to the left. I like that call-out, Boot, but now they're stuck between walls. They can't really edit through, and it's metal after the fact as well. The peppers are not going to make your pickaxes swing faster. You have to just keep going, and they're getting focused still.
And that's the least of the issues here. 250 below Surge. I don't know where they're going to jump in on. I mean, there's going to be a team nearby, but by the time they're actually into zone, they're going to lose all of their material count. They barely have any hard mats. 160 metal.
Oh, no.
There's a team behind this wall. They don't know. Maybe Savage does know. Oh, and he gets taken out there by a team hiding. He did redirect the Savage. Where? But Benji in this 2v1 now. What? Still alive somehow. 9 builds, 7 builds. Now he needs to be careful, but I mean, it was all done. It was a valiant effort for Benji, but he's still alive actually. Okay, he's sneaking up. He's being covert, and this player is on low HP. He does get the wall behind him. I don't think this player realizes. Sneaks back through. And does he know it? But Surge, he does know he's there. And Surge is going to take him out. 24 HP and he cannot heal up anymore. Surge is going to be the one who takes up Benji and finally somehow survived the absolute anarchy there of multiple players in this box. But there's one thing that is true, and Storm Surge eliminates all.
Absolutely. You can't build past it. You can't hide away from it. And he was out of mats too. Unfortunate. Art skill, that POV we just dipped towards. That's going to be second place looking to take that gold beam and add it towards their inventory to have that luxury. There is no first place team alive right now who can take that title.
Yeah, and if you look at the half and half zone here, zone actually does pull, I believe, on top of Pink and Anna. So all of that setup they did prior to set up the high ground is probably now going to be good for them. I'm not sure what layer they're on. I think they're close by, but like I said, you do not need to go crazy on high ground in this half and half, Shayo.
Absolutely not. 68 points right now. They basically want to clasp all the way up towards 90. If they get 100 in this game, that'll be absolute huge, but that means they have to survive the entire time. If we could just stay on this POV, I want to see exactly how they break it down. They will be going for right here. They have 2 different pads as well. Can they hold on to being the finessers of this zone entirely? 23 till we see where exactly moves, but I'm liking the fact that they're staying low-key right now.
Yeah, and you don't expect them to go for high ground initially, right? They're not going to be going to high ground in first moving. If they do that, I'll sound very stupid, but I don't think they should do that, right? They both have multiple launch pads in their inventory.
Why should they not?
So basically, the reason why you don't want to do it is because you want to use those launch pads effectively, right? If you have 3 launch pads in your inventory, you're going for high ground into first moving, you're basically using materials that you would have saved with those launch pads. Exactly. And with zone pulling far away from them, yet again, they're going to have more time to launch pad, and that's going to be good for them here, Shayo.
Absolutely. Irazumi, very same position. Might not have multiple launch pads, but they have 80 points so far. They might not be controlling high ground completely like Pink and Anas, but they've been consistent over their last 2 games. Now in the 3rd game, they have a spot to even steal that lead from Benji and Savage, and it's about 12 points ahead of Pink and Anas from what we saw before. Irazumi even pops that spicy pepper, a little bit of a speedier glide. We'll see exactly how this looks down. They've checked up top, and what a way to pad past all those builds on a single floor, blocking him through there. High and mighty inside the sky. They go straight for that forward position. We see so many teams in good spots all the way towards that final zone make this move first. And Irazumi and leader, they're not all the way towards the low ground. They have no people next to them either. This is such a good spot.
Yeah, they're in a very good spot. They do have those peppers popped as well. And if we go back towards Pink and Anas here, see they're holding out. And like I mentioned, they're going to launch pad very slowly towards the front side. Launch pad yet again. And now they're going to evaluate. Is this a good time to take high ground? And it doesn't look like it because there's a lot of people pretty much set up yet. So they can wait until that second moving. And then if the second moving pulls north, for example, then they're going to have a lot of materials because they're able to save those materials with those launch pads. So I'm hoping to see a north zone pull because it's going to be a launch pad towards height in the second moving zone here, Shayo.
Absolutely. De facto first place right now will be Artskill and T-Chips up inside the box. They're desperate to find any damage. 79 below. They might be in first. They might have 93 points, but that 95 below threshold is the number that matters, and they changed it up. Rewrite their destinies. 360 above, or 63 above, excuse me. They're still trying to find some type of damage. It might get close to 360 with the way this damage is going right now. They dodged the first few strikes of Surge as well as Stompy finds a few more in the feed. Chulex down. Mustache taken out by Endelex and Squeeze. They're side by side, but it's Stompy going all the way up towards the skies. Nylu has to be forced to drop down. 536 damage above for this team. They Spider-Man their way all the way forward as well. They stop another height take two. The denial is insane.
And you got to be careful. If you're fighting on the backside of zone, there's going to be another team towards the front side that's trying to take it away from you. Juice smartly here, Spider-Man towards the front side, but they get chopped down. Oh, they do reconnect though, but is the damage done? I don't know. They only have 4 more builds in total, and here comes Pink. Like I mentioned, if you're fighting on the backside of zone, you're going to be using a lot of materials, and Pink's been able to save it this entire game here, Shayo. 26 builds left, and they have it into this 8th moving zone.
Oh, they take out Stompy, and Pink is still active and alive. The aim electric, the bullet's magnetic, and they're not missing. This is just insane. Anas is there too at the very front of it, applying the pressure that Pink is making as well. He's making sure not a single edit can be made upwards. Mappy's kind of trapped. Seti's right below him too, so they're being forced into a pinch as well. T-Chips though, still in first, taking down Link. Finally, Endelex takes him down, so that might be the first place team. Not active either. They were close to 95, 98 points. It's 80 so far, but Seti too is also popping up, takes out Mappy, survives the pinch, and this is where trouble starts.
And I think we're going to get 2 in a row here from Pink and Anas because the zone pulls back over old builds, right? So they have, even though the material count is very, very limited, they're going to be able to stay on top of them, and no one's really going to pressure them because they're all going to go through, Shayo.
Absolutely. Seti, though, this is going to be another clutch situation. We saw Janus do it before, but he's out of mats and unfortunately goes down towards the front side. It'll be Endless next Squeeze that picked that one up. 26th place for them overall, but they're looking really good. And Austin Pink, again, it's like just walking a dog or something. It's just so simple for them. Every time, business as usual when it's the desert. These guys make sure everyone else is just low and dry. Pink, once again, another launch forward, and he secures another spot of the high ground.
And it is a game of numbers, right? Even the small launch pad there, you know, it's only 2 to 3 blocks, but every single build counts here. When you go into that final moving zone, that one build might just save them as you have 7 duels left alive, Shayo.
Absolutely. Flixie now, he's going to be in trouble. You're talking about every single build. They only have about 6 left. Pick up a few more on the left side. Armored Wall buys them a little bit of time, but it's time that's going to be translated into money, into points right now. The longer you stay alive, the more placement you're going to get, and they're trying to milk every single second so far. Up top is where the roof comes crashing down, and Flixie is the one to pick up all the mats left around. This is going to be huge for them. Dodging even more sprays. This man has like a shield bubble around him. There's no way he's taking no damage from all this pressure. Right now he's looking down, lands another big shot. Surge doesn't matter right now. It's only about getting these eliminations and staying alive ahead. Inside this feed, a big one from the heavy shotgun slug. It comes straight in. No, it's a pump, but it doesn't even matter. The damage is true. Nylu still alive right now. The Siptos also going to give you picks, and they're going all the way up for high ground. 3 builds left. It's not going to be enough. He doesn't have the mat to actually go all the way up towards the top, but he has a big shot on the left side. That's an interruption. Flixie's insane. Pink is down. The Emperor's usurped. The med mist might be enough to keep him alive inside the car. The tech is nuts, but no. Driving is not going to be allowed today. Anas saves it for now. A 1v1, no materials, a pump shot. It's do or get done, and he does it. Anas, back to back. The Pharaohs rise. That is insane.
Oh my goodness, Anas, they're absolutely electric. Kept this cool. I think that player bounced on top of a tire stack or something because Anas kind of lost him for a second there. But he did finally find that tracking, and this is just a fortunate zone there for them again, right? Everyone on low ground, every material, nobody has bats, and Anas here keeping us cool, you know, playing it safely, even tanking a little bit of storm, is able to find the Siptos there for free. And wow, I think that's 2 in a row there for Pink and Anas. I mean, the setup, it was all there to be seen from the start, right? They got those early eliminations in Tova Canyon, they got the vault, they had multiple chug splashes, and that was just free. GG's.
Absolutely. That armored floor, ramp, wall, whatever, like it was absolutely crucial. I think it was one more shot and would have dwindled away. So that was literally a game of inches. I know that the desk will talk for miles. Zeke, Levin, Reese, I mean, what was that?
Ridiculous.
Shio Wager, what is going on in this qualifier number 2, guys? Semifinals is next week. Finals is the week after that. We gotta calm down, okay? My little heart can only take so much of this action, but Shio Wager was extremely accurate in that call, right? That armored ramp there being the difference. At that point, that player has to say, this is not worth wasting ammunition on. I'm just gonna take a chance. I'm gonna go in this direction and hope this guy's not up top waiting for me to just get domed. But for Pink and Anas, once again, another victory royale. The back-to-back, Levin, it's going down.
Yeah, and we saw it coming from a mile away. Reese and I sitting there in the call just knowing, hey, look, after their off-spawn battles and whatnot, it was clear they were going to have a brilliant game. Of course, they had all the loot you could possibly ask for. The setup for height, Reese, was very, very patient, and it's actually something that I think people underrate, right? A lot of the time, you see a bunch of teams fighting for height, but the real good high ground teams, they'll stay elevated, they'll wait for all the action to happen, and they'll just sneak on right up and win games, and this is what these guys do so well.
Yeah, the back-to-back doesn't happen just randomly. Like, these guys are experienced. They've been practicing left, right, and center, and they are veterans of the game at this point. Anas has been around for so long. So has Pink, getting a lot more of the limelight this season, absolutely. It showed in the final moment, right, where Anas had to clutch up the victory royale, and we kind of saw a bit of a difference between Flixie on low ground. Here, exactly, jumping straight into the car. He's a less experienced player. He's not made a single FNCS final. This is a big moment for him, whereas Anas, calm, cool, collected, veteran of the game, connects the shots that matters, and picks up the back-to-back.
Yeah, Shai was talking about the Flixie's tech there. I think you're giving him a bit too much credit. I think there was a bit of panic there from him. But look, they were very impressive in that endgame. Him and Nailu popped off, and that's going to really help them moving forward.
And that's what they're trying to do, right? They're just trying to make it in that top 8. They don't have to be first. They just have to meet that top 8 requirement to go straight through the finals. Let's take a look at our standings right now. It does not look like I read slowly. Okay, so right now, second place, 102 points. That's how slow I read, guys. But I started from the bottom to the top. Take a look. That is a massive game for them, right? Now they're able to jump up, and especially halfway through the competition 11, they're able to say, look, as long as we can just hold on. A second place, they very well can make top 8. If everything goes horribly wrong, they may be able to hold on.
Yeah, look, I'm actually not even that surprised seeing Nailu and Flixie here, just because this season so far in Cash Cups, when I've been watching and analyzing some of the bigger teams, I always see their names popping about in lower layers, you know, really getting those pop-offs. They are very, very exciting players to watch, and so this could be the start of a really big year for them.
Yeah, their best placement so far is 12th in one of those finals, which was really, really good. Like I mentioned, they haven't made an FNCS finals yet, so with a couple of games remaining, 3 left to go, I'm hoping they don't crack under the pressure.
Just gotta hold on, boys. Just hold on. We got this. But for now, we're getting ready. We're jumping back on the battle bus. Boom, Shai Wager, take it away.
Man, when it comes to these games right now, I think Zeke put it the best in game number 2's post. It's like a semifinals light, even a finals light after the action we're seeing with this one, Boop. I mean, I'm not sure where it goes from here. If we're at the desert again, I might just lose my mind.
Yeah, I think it's very zone dependent, but it's also because the sort of teams that we have in this lobby. I don't think I see many high teams in this lobby, Shabia. A lot of the high teams that we know are all qualified last time. So, you know, the Videos and Visas, all these guys are already qualified towards the grand finals guaranteed. So Pink and Anas, they're making use of a very good situation for them. And, you know, they're being the only high team here right now. You know, it's doing well for them.
Yeah, it's like a personality switch as well, because you called it in the first game. Anas, Pink, kind of a little bit of a passive duo overall. They don't like to take that claim, but when it comes to endgame, everyone has to be adaptable enough to do just that, right? And if you're looking for another banger, we're on the precipice of one right now. Game number 4 is about to get started.
Yep, and, you know, we saw a lot of aggression coming out early on, but... We saw a lot of aggression coming out early on into that last game, and I'm expecting exactly the same this time, and the point discrepancies are going to be even higher, you know? There's going to be a lot of those people, you know, towards the bottom 30 to 40 on the leaderboard. They're trying to play super aggressive now. It is not the time to...
eating my ice cream in the kitchen. I'm not here, but...
Anyway, I ended my stream, so...
Okay. Bye, stream. We're ending you here. Goodbye.